Yekosuhum we free mantam emu amane bono enye de stores bese ennan ahyehye amajapade a ahye no enye anobikra eni.
Take me ama metontama tade ni jewelry bibia na meton stone no ko so ni jano o so jano hopelo mu se jano started them go frame ya me hono me network ni nye papa obe frame pe na wo se jato ni stone bibi do ya ampa jato stone mo echo ni nyina de ahye ni mo ade de
passion no krampo enye to passion no enye say atmosphere no nti sa pepa ama fo hihihih wo fie no kwa wonyae even won a proper sabi agana so tiro ni ade na ama fo hwe no so wonyae utumi bury a management prevention and management.
Yedikasiye ne eko impotemu die na yegina achim esi akwa
edi etudwa ebra Meaningful Life International eno no eye non governmental organization dwumako enhye abanyase wo mo etimi aye boho kama edi ama wo mo ochirim se ebetimi asum nipa dodo no a ewo ho nenso ni nyina mu no ensu papa ensu kroje a wo no mo ensa enkandie no ama wenye
pure water ya de nu aduane ya de huhuru bi wa kura chansim kwa ye aduane ya de huhurum
ba bosome ba mi nsani pipe abro no so wa ye nya bi nsada na agese sesa ne omagu abobo ya na ase pragia mu eni akosansu eno so kura afro mo a omonko eti wunya bidi ana agese otopia ota na ade anu awaduane na wadi woto ayi na bag na wotete a dodo obetumi anu aduane no na ade anu
Nti ensuo ho na wa ha papa because of the activities of Galamsey menace koso ha say ensuo no a ye nya dware no me momo de e betimi aka say I could afford it e bi ho no mo a bia meto bia sachet water ani ayi me bobo ano a be say tenya say metimi de dware.
Dr. Godwin Kofi Ahilija wono eye founding president Meaningful Life International wode botayenti omutu anamompa bi sei editu yanimu a wode adesede eto aban no anim se wonhwe na animanim ya Galamsey no woko na yeso awoso wono wono sonso mfa ne hunyim sa aban hofro na yentimi entu ase eho ensem eni
penne no Galamsey sesia eha Ganafo no even a bigger problem aba says ya yare na yenya fi nsuo no mo na enye diarrhea ne bilharzia says ya kidney damage inti ekrom ha de yenya report say nsuo a yenom wa ha no nsuo a heavy metals anasa chemicals ye de gold no ene na says ya say nsuo no na chese dodo na anya nsuo pa enum chese amu sorry no pa pure water anasa bottled water yenyina nyim se ne boy den and na say open show pa so dia this a 92 hours eko baby aboho ewo enti sa information ebedu ye nchen no na chese o se ye nhwehwemu pese problem ne ye problem a hapa ye anything na Meaningful Life etu anamon aba village ha ye wo esuo ni bi wo ha we be kan se pipe ana Ghana water system nanso do baby na on fidie ho atochima kakra enti na yewura rasebre tuma mpofo enana no manfo ebre nsuo ho eno ana one atrankonya ananom esrase opinion leaders on kebi wom esrase dwe ho ka so sadia na oniwa bebreye e de boare manfo de yanso odi nsuo medikai atuna koma so eno wahyase a enedie e de aso abofo ma o to be ana o ye bi e de ma esiakwa zongo community
Kasiye ni nyina esi Cameroonian fasida emase West Closet ono ene sheme atade odoko traffic light no ase ubun se West Closet ena Pogas furniture enche wonso.
The minority leader is putting words in my mouth.
Yes, but before you provide your answer, can you state how much is it now?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I never said we are going to increase it. I never used that word. I said that we will sustain it and improve on it, and made reference to the amount we pay and said it's not enough, because I've heard the caterers complain.
That he's aware that the caterers have been complaining. That is a fact that is coming from him. 2, he says that they are not being paid enough, considering even the cost of an egg. He referred to that. And he's going to improve upon it. Now, what is the definition of improvement? This is a matter of cost. If you say the amount is not enough, even the cost of an egg, and looking at how much they are being paid. So obviously, you are suggesting to them that you are going to increase the amount they are being paid. And if you cannot give us a percentage, that's fine. I won't push. But I want you to be on record that upon assumption of office, the caterer should expect an increase in the amount being paid as compared to the current payment they are receiving. Just for the records.
Mr. Chairman. Honourable Member, I think from your answer, the indication is clear.
Yeah.
That the amount is woefully inadequate and it will be improved. He attests to the fact that sitting there, you will not be able to indicate the percentage improvement. So the answer is already per the record.
Mr. Chairman, just to also add that we have to first pay the caterers, because I know not long ago, last week, they were picketing and demanding their payment. And so the first attention is to make sure you pay them, the caterers, because some of them had to borrow before they engage in such a business. So let's pay them first and settle with them. I don't know the quantum of arrest. We need to know the arrest, the amount of money the government of Ghana owes these caterers. We ascertain it, pay them, make them happy, and then we'll move on.
Mr. Chair, as for this, I know it as a fact. So I will give a voluntary answer. Honorable Leader and my respected colleague, government paid all caterers, and I want you to quote me. The last term, it's only this term that is, this which has just begun, that government does not owe, that perhaps government owes, because the term would have to end. But I want you to know that I am aware that government paid all outstandings to caterers. The MPP government, at the time of leaving office, had paid every single caterer. Every single caterer was paid. There is no outstanding. And that it is this current term which has just begun, that upon completion, they will send their invoices for validation. So just for the records, that, and I pray that with assurance that there's going to be improvement in the amount being paid. You are saying that you won't use the word increase, but you will use the word improvement. Well, it means the same. So they expect that this current term, God willing, as you take over as a fresh ATO, they are going to enjoy an improved payment. Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, having put that on record, let me go back to the issue of cocoa price per bag. In an earlier response to questions that came from the floor, my respected colleague indicated that, well, the cocoa sector is under the Ministry of Agric, and that if there is any policy realignment, he will look at it. He also indicated that he's a key advocate for cocoa farmers. He did also indicate that he would advocate for the cocoa farmer. Now, the issue is beyond advocacy. You are now the man in charge of the press, and you know the pressure on cocoa farmers. The 6,000 Ghana cedi per bag that you committed, would it be your benchmark in your advocacy and eventual decision for the cocoa farmer, because they are listening.
Thank you, Honorable Minority Leader. You may ask another question.
Mr. Chairman, cocoa money does not come to the the consolidated fund. Cocoa money is outside the consolidated fund. It stays with the Ghana Cocoa Board. Ghana Cocoa Board uses this money part to buy cocoa, part to buy fertilizers and other inputs. I don't know what Cocoa Board is leaving behind. I don't know the extent of arrests they are leaving behind. I don't know the extent of debt that the Ghana Cocoa Board is leaving behind. I will not do this committee any good if I sit here and announce cocoa price. But as I've said, I remain a key advocate for the cocoa farmer. I will do so with the best of intention for the cocoa farmer. I recognize their sacrifices. I've spoke for them in the last 8 years, and I will continue to speak for the cocoa farmer. That I can assure you. But let's get to the cocoa board first and see what they have to do. I still maintain that the price they are paying the cocoa farmer is inadequate. I maintain that it's inadequate.
Thank you.
And there is more room for improvement.
Thank you. Further question?
Chairman, is a nominee conceding that the 6,000 per bag he quoted on the floor of the House was a mere political statement?
Mr. Chairman, the 6,000 Ghana cedi per bag should have been paid in the last crop year. Mr. Chairman, I say this because Cocoa Board is gradually turning themselves to a procurement agent just to procure inputs and denying the cocoa farm.
The following ministries in the civil service are hereby established. A, Ministry of Finance. If you go to the unreferenced letter, the 9th of January 2025, states as follows: in accordance with Article 78(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, 1992, I hereby, on behalf of His Excellency John Mahama, submit for consideration and approval of Parliament the following nominees for ministerial appointment. 1. Dr. Kasiel Atuba Forsen, MP, Minister Designate, Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. I'm staying a bit longer on this because the instrument is dated 9th. The letter, communication to us, is also dated 9th. Which is which?
Honorable nominee, before you come in, leader, you know that the EI will take precedence over the letter.
Chairman, does that mean that we should put the nominees' vetting on hold and expect the presidency to communicate the correct designation to us? Because what you are saying, which I agree, that the instrument which comes under constitutional provision, Article 11, if we go to Article 11, for the avoidance of doubt, may we go to Article 11 of the Constitution, the hierarchy of laws. Give me your Constitution. No, but they are instruments. No, they don't need to be. 11.7. Any other order or regulation made by a person or authority under the power conferred by this constitution or any other law shall be, Mr. Chair, I agree therefore that the instrument takes precedence over the letter. If that is so, I believe that the right thing to do will then be that we receive another communication from the presidency stating the correct office you are going to hold, because that contradiction can only be cured by a letter. In any event, the instrument is not formally before the House. You see, we are concerned because we thought the NDC, having had an experience in government before, was fully prepared for this term. So with 8 quality men and women in charge of governance, we were expecting this to have been done. But I will not hold back your vetting. I am bringing this to attention of Chair to ferry these concerns to the presidency so that we get a new letter. And I pray that that letter comes before we take the report on the floor. That said, let me move to my next question.
Honorable Leader, I pleaded with you that let's concentrate on the substance, but not the form. Before you proceed, I recognize the chief whip.
Chairman, I sympathize with the minority leader. He raised this point earlier, and you rightly said, our committee had a pre-sitting meeting. All these issues were taken into consideration, and we came to a conclusion that we will do the vetting today. And I mean, we all commended them for this kindness. So going to bring back this thing and suggesting that somebody should have known something, I think these were the issues we discussed. Otherwise, what is the point of having pre-sitting meetings and then to decide on the path to take? And then in the public, we are making it look as if these issues were not addressed. So I'm pleading with you. You have your right as the leader of the opposition to bring forth your point. But you are taking us back a bit, and unfortunately, the majority of the people watching us did not benefit from the pre-meeting arrangement. So I'm pleading with you once again. I just want to remind you once again, the shortest vetting we've had in this parliament since I entered was the vetting of Honorable Che Mensah Bonsu, leader of the majority, leader of the House. The shortest. The opposite happening today is the longest. Just that on record again. And you were the one who actually brought this up and reminded us. And you are participating in the longest ever vetting. As for Parliament and Ghana, it will continue to exist. We just hope one day nobody will insist that vetting of another leader should be the shortest.
Mr. Chairman, the shortest vetting we've ever had was with Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Backbin. Let the records be perused. It's not Che Mensah Bonsu, so you check it. That said, I do not want to believe that Honorable Member Governor Abuja is trying to frustrate the process here. Fortunately, Honorable Roxanne Eche Defiamapo is right here with us. We have had him on record, including Honorable Governor Abuja, interrogating phrases used, sentences used, grammar, and paragraphs contained in a letter from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to the House. So please, if I'm just clarifying, just for the record, and don't, unduly come in. I beg you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable members. Let's make progress.
So,
the point well noted. So proceed.
Oh, thank you very much. Honorable nominee, we assume without any doubt that the president has serious confidence in you, your capacity to help finance his flagship projects, and obviously values your insights and contributions in crafting policy. May you share with us if there is any planning and modeling to guide the development of the 24-hour economy policy.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, His Excellency the President has appointed the Honorable Guzitando as the Special Advisor for 24 Hours Economy. His office, prior to his nomination, have worked extensively on a policy, a 24-hour economic policy. In the coming days, we will make those policy public, working with the Ministry of Finance. When approved, we'll work with them to implement the 24-hour economy. But as I've said earlier, I strongly believe that we can increase our GDP or double our GDP with the same capital and the same resources, with the same labor. I think it is up to us to work closely with the Office of the Special Advisor to the President of the 24-hour economy and this House, so that together we can tweak it. Look, let me say that if Ghana succeeds, we all succeed. And so we'll have to work together. I don't have the full details of the work they've done. And as I said, the work didn't just start. They've been working in the last 2 years to develop a program towards this 24-hour economy agenda. No wonder the Honorable Guzitando was nominated to lead it, because he has been leading it since opposition. Thank you.
So, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Chairman, so just for the ordinary Ghanaian, what is a 24-hour economy? Just for the ordinary Ghanaian to understand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
He needs an explanation of 24-hour economy from you.
Mr. Chairman, simple put, a 24-hour economy is an economy where the rest sectors of the economy doesn't sleep. The rest sectors of the economy doesn't sleep. For example, we have a mining sector, don't we? We want to see where the mining sector does not sleep, as against a situation where the mining sector, for example, does 12 hours and go to bed. The benefits of light electricity, they should be able to work 24 hours. And many other sectors. You have the hydrocarbon sector. You have the entire agriculture value chain. It's not just going to farm, but after farm, the produce must go to a warehouse. And you have to, obviously, process it into agribusiness. And so we don't want the value chain to go to sleep. We believe that if implemented properly, we'll be able to increase the workforce. And we've said one job, just like we have now, can end up employing 3. So 24-hour economy is a structure where we'll end up implementing a 3 shift for the economy and going forward, bring out productivity.
Thank you very much. Are you okay with the explanation of 24-hour economy?
Chairman, stay out of this matter. Honorable nominee, are you suggesting, therefore, that the structure of our economy as it stands now has no such input as 24-hour economy already subsisting?
There's some semblance of 24
Please,
hour.
go ahead with your answer.
Mr. Chairman, I think if you talk about the rest sector, no. No. You see, the rest sector are the core sectors of the economy that drives inclusive growth, proper growth, and create jobs. You have health, where hospitals operate 24 hours. You have the police, some police stations, work 24 hours and all, some restaurants and all. But that's not what we are talking about. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking of the real sector, where jobs are created. For example, we have Takrady Port, my birthplace, where I grew up, secondary Takrady Port. And you have mines, where you used to work, the Awaso area. Going all the way to Yini. With a proper railway line, you can get the Yini mines to produce bauxite within the same 24 hours as what has been produced. You can haul it to Takrady Port and ship them or process it. The whole process is what we are talking about, 24-hour economy. So it's the rail sector that we are talking about. Investment in the rail sector, deliberate government policy targeting the rail sector, where you can use the 24-hour economic policy to drive growth. That's what we are talking about, not chop bars. We're not talking of chop bars. We're not talking of pharmacy shop. That's not what we are talking about, rail sector growth.
So are you therefore saying that you've done some costing, and having done some costing, you have an approach in terms of this model? Because from your answer, you are suggesting that you are going to target certain sectors. And if you are targeting these sectors and you really want to fuel economic growth, it means that you need to inject some funding. So let us know what funding arrangement you have in place to back this policy.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to jump the gun. I said earlier that I said earlier that the Office of the Special Advisor to the President, responsible for 24-hour economy, is doing some work. I know they're almost done, and because the work started 2 years ago when we also were in opposition. Today he's in office. He will need to tweak it and present same to Parliament. Obviously, what will be presented to Parliament will come from either the Ministry of Finance together with the Ministry of Trade. So let's wait for that. The President has appointed someone responsible for 24-hour economy. Let's wait for the person to provide us a proper blueprint, then we'll talk about it.
Thank you. Any further question, Leader?
Yes, please.
Chairman. You have a long way to go.
Chairman, we have a 10 billion public infrastructure investment plan proposed by the NDC. At the same time, the NDC in government seeks to introduce the sinking fund and cap government borrowing. This is a manifesto promise. First, I want to know whether you pledge your support for this manifesto promise. And if so, walk us through the numbers and demonstrate how it fits into the IMF framework for 2025 to 2028.
Mr. Chairman, I subscribe to the tenets of our manifesto because I was part in formulating that manifesto. Mr. Chairman, yes, we promised to set up a sinking fund. It's necessary. It is required. If we had sinking fund today, I wouldn't be sitting here lamenting that there are debts that will fall due, yet we do not have buffers. We need to establish that sinking fund. We've done it in the past, and we'll do it again. I've said that it is only right for you to save during good times to take care of bad times. So we'll save when it's good, and when it's bad, we'll have buffers to be able to deal with the challenges. There's the need for us to cap borrowing. We have to cap borrowing. You can't borrow into an unsustainable.
The caterers, the 72 days. So government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at the time of leaving office released the entire outstanding to be paid. Now the records have it that as at 31st of December 2024, the controller had only paid 42 days out of what he was directed to pay, and that we have some days outstanding in releases yet to be paid. Do we have your commitment to ensure that the controller complies with this?
The release is what it.
Honorable nominee, your comment.
Mr. Chairman, I've been. Okay. And I've said that it is not enough even to buy egg. I've also said that there are some arrests we need to pay. Let's get to the ministry. And when we get there, we'll work to make sure these caterers are paid first. And then we can look into the future, what we can do for the school feeding.
Thank you very much, Leader.
Chairman, now back to the issue of your 10 billion public infrastructure investment fund. I want to know from you, Honorable Nominee, how much of the 10 billion shall be raised in each year, and how will that fit under the debt ceiling manifesto, the debt ceiling in your manifesto? Because you are proposing a certain debt ceiling. You are also talking about raising this 10 billion. I want to know how you intend to go about it and how much of same each year. Thank you.
Nominee.
Mr. Chairman, the policy will be submitted to Parliament for approval. The big push policy will be submitted to Parliament for approval.
Thank you very much.
In it, we'll give you the breakdown, how it's done, how we are going to raise money, and when we are going to start, and how much goes into each year. So the details will be provided to this House.
Thanks. Any further question?
Chairman, the nominee has two major interventions to make to meet a policy initiative of the government. And because you hold the purse, it would squarely come to you. One, the free university tuition for first year. Second, the extra costs to be incurred under free SHS to cover private schools. So these are two main expenditure lines to look out for. So let me start with the first one. With the free university tuition for first years, I understand the university students are starting their semester 1. Now, are you going to implement it now? The free first year tuition for university students. Are you going to implement it this academic year, which has just begun, and would you factor it in your budget, which you are going to present? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, proceed with the answer.
Mr. Chairman, first, I'm not yet the Minister of Finance. Second, Mr. Chairman, I have to be at the ministry to assess the situation and introduce government policies accordingly. My responsibility as Minister of Finance will include mobilizing domestic revenue to fund government projects or government flagships. I will do that not alone, but working with Cabinet. I'm mindful of our manifesto promises, and I should be the one to be able to recommend same to government if we can afford it. And as long as it's in government manifesto and there are timelines to it, I commit to it. And we'll do just that. But let me get to the ministry first, and let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
So, Chair, Honorable Nominee, are you suggesting that you have not considered the costing of this policy, the free tuition for first-year university students.
Chairman, that is very wrong. I've never said that. It doesn't matter the costing. It must fit into a framework. And I have to get into the ministry first. I can't pretend to use this podium to read the national budget. This is not a budget. Let me get there so that I can present the budget to you, and some of these policies will be appropriately.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, I would want a further clarity on this all-important policy. Your manifesto talks about tertiary. Tertiary is not only the universities, but post-secondary institutions that award diplomas, certificates, in my view, are tertiary institutions. So you have nursing training institutions, colleges of nursing, you have the colleges of education. Are they all going to be factored in the free first-year tuition to avoid discrimination?
Mr. Chairman, I think I've made this point already. I'm not yet in a position to make policy pronouncement on behalf of the government. I'm only a designate, a nominee. And you need to approve me first. Give me the power to be able to make policies and announce to you policies. Mr. Chairman, you may ask the Honorable Minority Leader to file a question so that I can come and answer when I become the minister.
Thank you very much. You have to file a question.
Chairman,
after approval.
No worries at all. But you see, a distinction must be made. There are matters that you need to get to the ministry to enable you have it handy. And those are not the ones I'm asking you. These are policies. And being part of a political party leadership, I know what goes into manifesto pledges. We had hints many months, or if not a year or two ago, that you were leading the economic team of your party. We know. Therefore, you've always known about this policy. It didn't just get into your manifesto. What I want to know from you are facts within your domain, whether the colleges of education, colleges of agriculture, colleges of nursing, and other institutions that are tertiary institutions are part of this free first-year tuition. That is what I want to know from you, because you know what is tertiary when you were drafting the policy. That's what I want you to tell me, not something that you will get to know upon arriving at the ministry.
Leader, with all due respect, the word tertiary is unambiguous. You are just calling on the nominee to give you an interpretation of tertiary. I think we should give the word tertiary its ordinary meaning, and then we can proceed.
Chairman, thank you very much. I can understand where you are coming from. But you see, we are a political class, and we are dealing with a social intervention deliverables. Those watching us would want clarity. And that is all I seek to do, so that somebody at Legon would not assume that university is university and that he or she will benefit. But somebody at the nursing college in Winneba who is doing a diploma in nursing would think that because they did not explain it, he or she will not benefit. So I know you had the benefit of knowing what tertiary means at the time you were drafting this policy, when you said you would give first year tertiary students free tuition. You pay for them, government will pay, so parents will not need to pay at all. You know, so I just want the clarification.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's unambiguous in our manifesto what we said. I do not seek to reinterpret what is in the manifesto, and it's as clear as possible. In the next budget, if you have any doubt, we can clarify those in the next budget. Thank you.
Fair enough, Chairman, fair enough. So let me come to the next leg of this social intervention, the free SHS. So you have promised that you will extend it to the private secondary schools. You are going to be a major advisor to government. Have you planned, do you have a plan as to the number of students in the private secondary schools? And if so, have you looked at the cost?
Mr. Chairman, the number of students in the private school as at yesterday cannot be the same as today. It moves. So whatever target or whatever costing that was done was done with the data as at the time they did assessment. I was not part of the group that did assessment. Today, we are in office. You need to look at the data, the number of people concerned, and how much you are paying. Let's get to office. The president is only 2 weeks, it's less than 2 weeks old, it's 1 week old. Let's get to the office, and then we can start work. There's no minister at post as we speak. And so you need to help the president to constitute his cabinet as soon as possible so that they can advise him for him to come to Parliament to deliver his State of the Nation address. Thank you.
So the private secondary schools that you propose to extend free SHS to is going to include Ghana International School, Lincoln, Association, because all these are private schools, secondary schools. Are you going to include them?
Did we mention them? Well, the nominee is capable of answering the question. Other than that, private school is private school.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware that Ghana International Lincoln and the text WASI, they don't write WASI. I'm not aware. I'm not aware that Ghana International School goes through West Africa Examination Council. They do GCSEs and A-levels and others. I'm not aware that you can equate Lincoln with a school fees of $30,000 to Achimota School. I'm not aware of that. The Chairman, let's get to work. And when we get there, we'll present to this House a comprehensive program. The Chairman, the previous administration was unable to pass the free SHS bill. You are aware of that. And Mr. Chairman, we will regulate this free senior high school policy properly to make it sustainable, so that it becomes part of our nation's development. I think His Excellency the President has made this pronouncement, and so we'll do what we have to do. The Honorable Minority Leader knows me well, that I'm a man of my word. And I can give him that assurance that whatever it takes, we'll come to this House and seek your approval.
Chairman.
Thank you very much.
As
the options, we'll work with our development partners. There's World Bank, there's IMF, there is EU and all. So if there's any financing need, aside the market, both domestic and external, we'll be able to tap into the financing, our financial request from the development partners. So these are options that we can do.
Now, as a follow-up on that, I'm quite curious. So how would you raise this 10 billion without borrowing. This 10 billion, you had indicated to me earlier that you will present your plan to Parliament, and in that we'll know as a house how much you intend to raise each year. Now, you are so sensitive to your debt servicing strategy. Now, how do you intend to still achieve this without borrowing?
Mr. Chairman, I've never said we are not going to borrow. I've said that financing needs are a function of the budget, and it depends on the fiscal deficit you throw out. If you throw out a fiscal deficit of 10% of GDP, you have to finance the 10%. Where are you financing the 10% of your GDP? Are you financing it from debt? And if it's debt, what kind of debt? Is it domestic, T-bills, or long-dated? Is it external or kind of? So I'm saying that your concern will be dealt with the kind of financing we throw out. If we throw out 2%, 3%, and the market can accommodate it, so be it. So let's look at the options available. But all of this will depend on your financing needs. So for us, fiscal discipline will be the anchor, and we'll be mindful of the market needs and what the market can accommodate.
Thank you.
Chairman.
I thought you said 2 questions.
No, there was a follow-up. Chairman,
So is that the last question?
The nominee has addressed us on some key issues, and I'm happy with his approach thus far. I would want to ask him, he's aware that a key development partner, the IMF, entered into some agreement with us. And in that agreement, they required of us to put in place certain measures. He is aware that the e-levy and the betting tax and other tax he considers are nuisance taxes have been captured as part of our revenues in this agreement with the IMF. So government really has no unfettered discretion. How do you justify the repealing of these tax laws without hurting the very agreement that you have with the IMF? You think, in other words, you think that you can freely repeal these tax laws and without introducing a new revenue measure, the fund will be happy with you and will not see that your repealing of these tax laws amount to breaching an existing agreement with them? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the IMF did not ask the former government to introduce e-levy. E-levy was introduced before the IMF program. And so the IMF did not ask you to introduce e-levy. The betting tax was also introduced by yourselves, not an IMF prescription. The IMF will give you a fiscal deficit to achieve. It is up to you how you achieve it, and we'll do just that. But let me say this.
Okay, sure.
But let me say this, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the NDC government recognizes that there is an IMF program. We are committed to implement the IMF program. We are also committed to achieve the objectives of the IMF. We are not going to jettison the IMF program. We implement it. It is an agreement between the Republic of Ghana and the International Monetary Fund. Today, we are in government. We have a responsibility to implement it. I'm on record to have said that we will implement the IMF program. And so we'll implement the IMF program. We are not running away from that. And so whatever it takes, we will not run away from the implementation of the IMF program. And we'll implement it to the latter and achieve the objectives of the IMF program.
So, Chair, is the nominee therefore suggesting to us that repealing these tax laws, these taxes that he considers them nuisance, repealing them without introducing new taxes or other forms of taxes in their place will not amount to breaching the IMF agreement?
Mr. Chairman, you can rake in other form of revenue through compliance. You can use compliance measures to bring in additional revenue to replace these taxes you are removing.
Finally, leader, your government is proposing overhauling the existing foreign exchange regime. As finance minister, what is the alternative? Have you any comprehensive foreign exchange policy you will pursue? Because it's not just enough to say that you will depart from the existing foreign exchange regime. The country would like to know how you intend to come up with an alternative policy. Which policy will help to address the currency depreciation and build more foreign exchange buffers? We would want to know from you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Bank of Ghana has the mandate to deal with our foreign exchange regime. I'm not being vetted as a governor of the Republic of Ghana or the Bank of Ghana. I'm being vetted as a minister responsible for finance. I don't want to make policies or policy proposals that will tie the monetary policy regime. I think we should leave that to the central bank and the governor or the next governor to be able to have the power to deal with monetary policy, particularly the management of our foreign exchange. But I'm record to have said that the Bank of Ghana alone cannot be left to anchor the currency. It doesn't mean we are going to micromanage the foreign exchange regime. It means we are going to coordinate with the Bank of Ghana. So we'll coordinate effectively with the central bank to be able to manage Ghana's foreign exchange regime. That I know we will do.
Chairman, just a follow-up. You see, leader, your manifesto did not say that this is a mandate of the central bank. You will come up with a lead policy, which policy have a far-reaching consequences on the economy. The central bank would only look at you as an arrowhead and implement in a direction that the government policy so directs or chooses. So I think that to run away from it may be a bit unfortunate. It cannot be said by you as the holder of the purse that this is a matter for the central bank. Please, at the time you crafted this and engraved same in your policy, you knew what you wanted to achieve. The people of Ghana do not want to get the impression that you did matricle, because you said it on good authority that this is what you are going to do. So I want to know from you whether indeed, as the head of the Exchequer, you are committed to this and not to say that it's a duty of the central bank.
Mr. Chairman, I was trying to refer you to the constitutional provision of the Bank of Ghana. And we all know that the Constitution mandates the central bank to manage the central our foreign exchange. Mr. Chairman, our manifesto did not say the Minister of Finance would be the one to manage the foreign exchange regime. No. We announced our economic policies. And you know that it takes both monetary and fiscal to manage the economy. It's not only the Ministry of Finance that manages the economy. And so it's the two of us. And so, Mr. Chairman, I want to jealously guard the independence of the central bank when it comes to monetary policy formulation. Monetary policy formulation and the management of the foreign exchange. That is in their purview. Let's respect it. Allow the next governor or the governor to deal with it. Chairman, I so submit.
Thank you for your question. I am told.
Chairman.
Oh, do you have a further question? Leader, you said 2 more.
Chairman.
And you've asked 3. You have a further question.
Since the nominee has referred us to the Constitution,
Ghana. He shall be appointed by the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State for a period of 4 years. The Chairman, the governor will have to be appointed by the President. The governor will have to subscribe to the ideals and the vision of the President in foreign exchange, in the foreign exchange management. The President has a social contract. He signed a social contract with the people of Ghana. His appointment or his appointee must reflect exactly that. And so, Mr. Chairman, we have not heard the same constitution talking about the mandate of the central bank says that the president must appoint the governor. And so you have to appoint someone who subscribes to your ideals, someone who buys into your vision. And so he's going to appoint someone he believes will do what it takes. And you know, so that will be done. That will be done.
Thank you very much.
You are going to, Chairman, he's introduced an important matter. There's a central bank governor. We have a governor of the central bank.
Who has mismanaged the bank?
Yes. He's going home.
Central mismanagement. The mismanager of the bank, not the manager.
When is his tenure coming to an end?
Chairman, you should be telling us, but I know he has had his 2 terms, 2 maximum terms, and he has some months to go. So certainly within the next 4 years, the president will have the opportunity to appoint a governor.
I mean, after he has retired?
I am not appointing authority.
Pardon? No. Mr. Chairman, we need some protection here. The majority, exactly. Honorable nominee.
Chairman, I have a point of order.
Honorable nominee, you are telling the committee that the governor has some few months to go. I want to ask you that this new appointment you are referring to, would it be after his retirement?
Honorable members, the Constitution states clearly the tenure of office of the governor. So definitely what the nominee is saying is that within a period, it will come to an end and the president will have the opportunity. This issue as whether when exactly it will end is not a question for the nominee to be asked.
Chairman, I think your ranking member is done.
Yes.
So if you raise new issues, you may invite him again.
So honourable members, it's now my turn to answer a question, to ask a question, but I have no question for the nominee. I will use the period to acknowledge the presence of some guests in our midst who are here to give moral support to the nominee. They are Nana Efua Esiwa II, Paramount Queen Mother Ejumako, Ama Fossen, sister to the nominee, Kwesi Fossen, Kwajo Fossen, brothers to the nominee, Sechiwa Claudia, sister, Reverend Pa Kwajo, brother, Mr. Afrifa, brother, Professor Ferdinand Ahiakpo, staff, James Ajenim Boatin, staff, and Professor Jonathan Annan, a Jumako Enyen, a CM constituency chairman. May I have the privilege to say you are most welcome. Honourable members, let me use the opportunity to thank the nominee for attending upon the committee. Honourable Minister Designate, you are discharged, but you will surely hear from the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just want to say a word. Mr. Chairman, today you did not treat me like the majority leader of the Ghana's parliament, but I recognize that this had to happen because I'm going to serve in a very sensitive position. I recognize that. Thank you.
Yeah. Honourable members, we'll have 30 minutes break to ourselves. We'll resume. Yes. Yes, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Hour Live on GBC News.